In this video, I'll provide an overview of switch statements. In Java, there are several ways to test conditions and act accordingly. One way is the switch statement, which is a streamlined version of chained if statements. Switch statements are easier to read and maintain than if statements, though, and they offer better performance. This is an example of a switch statement that determines the number of days in a month. We start with the switch statement on line 1, and month is the variable to be tested. It contains a numerical value. The case statements starting on line 2 separate the test conditions. Case 1 for the first month, case 2 for the second month, and so on. Lines 2 and 3 deal with the 31-day months. On line 6, case 2 means month 2, February, and we check whether it's a leap year to determine whether it's 28 or 29 days. And on line 12, we check for months with 30 days. As opposed to if statements, it's easier to read and understand what's happening here. The month variable is evaluated only once and then matched to several possible values. Notice the break statements on lines 5, 11, and 14. This is an important part of the switch statement, and it causes the switch statement to exit without evaluating the remaining cases. The switch construct helps to avoid confusing code because it simplifies the organization of the various branches of code that can be executed. The syntax for the switch construct is explained here. The switch keyword on line 1 indicates a switch statement. Variable is the variable whose value you want to test, or you could use an expression. Note that the variable, or the result of the expression, can only be of type int, short, byte, char, or string. The case keyword indicates a value that you're testing. A combination of the case keyword and literal value is referred to as a case label. Literal value is any valid value that a variable might contain. You can have a case label for each value that you want to test. Literal values can be constants, literals, or both. The break statement is an optional keyword that causes the code execution to immediately exit the switch statement. Without a break statement, all code block statements following the accepted case statement are executed until a break statement or the end of the switch construct is reached. While it is optional, as a best practice, you should always use break because it's code efficient to do so. So, when to use switch statements? When you're testing for equality rather than a range. When you're testing for a single value, when you're testing against fixed known values at compile time, and as I've already mentioned, the type must be int, short, byte, char, or string. If you're not able to find values for individual test cases, it would be better to use an if-else construct instead.